Hi Crafts, this is Mrs. Price here. Right now I am teetering my phone on top of my coffee cup, which is also on top of a shoebox. So at the moment this is my document camera and I'll do the best I can, but I'm going to show you what we're working on to make our landscapes. So here's my picture, and this is a painting. Here, I'll open this up a little bit. This is the House of Parliament Effect of Fog by Claude Monet, and he was an impressionist. And I saw some of you guys chose the lilies, his lilies in the water, so water lilies. Anywho, I went ahead and picked a picture, printed it out, and then I sketched it out on a piece of scrap paper. So I tried to do the same dimensions, and I tried to find the areas of color to use, and I did my best using my colored pencils to recreate the colors that I saw and where I saw them. So I think I need to do some more layering where the orange is, but at least I knew I should put the orange down first, and then I can layer some different colors on top. So the colors I'm seeing in my picture, definitely some greens and some purples, and some blues. So this is basically mostly blue, green, purple with some orange, and then some white highlights down here. So what I'm going to start off with is, I think I'm going to start off with Parliament, because that was the strongest feature, subject matter in the composition, and then this little guy in the boat. So if I look back at my original picture, it's kind of a bluish, greenish color, but I really only had blue or green or teal. So I ended up coming up with this color, and I actually made it. It's pretty close to actually the color of my background. It's a little darker, but if you look at the picture, there are so many different variations in color. So I think all these colors mixed together actually work really nicely. So I took some blue, some green, a little bit of black, and some teal. Just grab a piece of teal off of here. And I mix those all together to get my color. So if I just used blue, that would be way too bright. So in the colors, I don't know, I think this is pretty close to my printout color. It's probably easier to see that in real life. But anyway, how I went about this, I just took all my colors and just sort of physically mix them together by trying to keep my fibers going in the same direction. Just actually mixing them all up until I get kind of a uniform color. Oh, it's okay if there's some streaks in here. I actually want a few streaks, but this right here is way too streaky. So I would just keep basically shredding. You could use the little combs that we have if this is difficult, and that might help you keep your fibers going in the same direction. It's going to be easier to work with this if the fibers are going in the same direction. So once you pull all those together, and if you decide, oh, that's way too dark, or oh, that's way too light, you can always add a little bit of black to darken it up. Or this teal is our lightest color here. Maybe you'd want to add more of that. But anyway, after all that shredding, I came up with something like this. Now, the way my camera's set up, I actually have to lay this down upside down for me, so it's not upside down for you. So this might be a little crazy putting this on here, because I have to think of this as upside down. But here's my picture again. So if I'm holding it this way, I'm going to start with this maybe right about there, and it's a pretty hard line going that way. So that stuff, I'm actually going to take my Sharpie and let myself know, hey, I'm going to start this stuff about right here. And then it's going to go this way. All this will be covered up, so you actually won't even see this. And then my biggest part is about right here. That was the big tower. Here's my little tower. I got another littler tower over here. And I got some stuff going on over here. So, I'm just letting myself know where that goes. And you know what? Now that I look at this, I am not starting off with Parliament. I'm going to start putting in the orange. So, this is what I've got. A little more orange over here. And if I look at my picture, especially the one I drew, I have the orange going all the way in back of Parliament, and I have some down here. So I'm going to start with that sky first. And I guess I'm going to, since I don't have a lot of orange, I'm going to try to make sure I don't put it in the spots where there really isn't any orange. And with this, it's actually okay if I see some of my background coming through, because teal is one of my colors I'd be using anyway, so it's perfectly fine. Some of your backgrounds you won't want to see much of that showing through. Oops. I'm also going to layer this other yellowish color on there. And then go ahead and poke that on with my needle. You want to follow the shape that the paint is making too. So if I look at my original picture of the painting, it kind of looks like it's a cloudy circular effect, which would make sense because it's the fog. So once I get this color down, I think I'm going to do some more details that are more swirly looking. Oh, I got a little bit of pink in there. I don't want that. But when you poke this, when you look through the back of it, you are going to see that it pokes right through the back of this craft felt, which is fine. I'm just really going to focus on this one little corner right here. Once you get going, this will be stuck down, and you can rip it up once in a while, but actually it helps if it's kind of attached to your foam, so it doesn't move around on you too much. So guys, this is going to take a long time to poke this all down. This is one little needle. This is a pretty big area. So these are going to take probably as long as your little creatures took, if not a little longer. It's going to be a lot of layers, a lot of detail. And honestly, I think this project is a little more difficult. I think I should have poked that down just a little bit more, but I'm going to go ahead and start adding a little bit of some purple. And I'm going to make it in kind of a cloudy shape. And I do want this to overlap and layer up. And you can actually see the orange right through there. Right through the purple, and that's perfect, because that's what I see in my painting. I'm looking at my painting as I'm laying this down, And I think the teal background is working really well with all these colors. Okay, I think I see a little bit of green in there, so I'm going to take a little bit of green. A bit of a green blob right here. And you can start off by adding just a little. You can even use your needle to move it. You can add a little bit more as you go along. You can definitely see that orange peeking through. I'm gonna add a little bit of the blue I made, just a little bit. Now if you start to see those poke holes, you want to go a little lighter when you get to the top, but we're still layering a whole bunch of stuff on here, so that is perfectly fine. This isn't going to look exactly like the painting, you're just doing the best you can. And you can also, so I have some blue and some yellow here. I'm going to actually mix those together. And when you physically mix the wool roving like this, I think it looks better. And I'm putting that down, and I don't actually like that. I think that needs a little more orange. So I'm gonna move that guy. I think I'm gonna do a little more purple down here. So some of this actually will be covered up by Parliament here. But I really like how that's looking. Anyway, with my painting, I'm just going to keep layering this up until I feel happy with the background, and then I'll go ahead and put on my details of Parliament, and that's not going to happen for a little bit here. But if you just make all your wool roving straight, it's just going to go straight across. Like here, I could even use my finger to round that out a little bit, just so it's not just going in one direction. Well, I'm going to keep adding on some of my wool roving, and then I'll show you my progress when you get to class. All right, thanks for watching. Bye.